What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Talking Elite Fitness. I'm Sean Woodland. At home, Tommy Marquez, he is at home. Lauren Khalil, however, you have gotten bit by the Tommy Marquez travel bug. I'm very sorry about that. Where are you now in your quest to get back to Syracuse?
You know what? I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth. I just wanted to
All right.
come vet where the 2024 CrossFit Games were going to be and, sit here in a hotel in an airport for 24 hours.
I'm sorry about that, but you did get to attend the tactical games, which one of the
Yeah,
qualifying events. That looked like it went pretty well.
it was a lot of fun. It has a lot of similarities to CrossFit events in the sense that, they're 2-day events. The first couple of hours, it's like full scramble. New people are trying to figure out what they're doing. Everybody's trying to get their footing. And then after the first few hours, everybody knows it's a little bit more calm and relaxed. But like, man, that community is so cool. Like, from the way that they do it is so if you and Tommy were in the same division and in separate heats, you would each judge each other. So
Yeah.
almost like the CrossFit Open. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was really cool to watch some of the athletes actually try to judge and coach them at the same time and give them helpful feedback that increased their performance. So it's just a really cool sport that is a lot of fun and a lot of CrossFitters are getting involved with, which is cool.
Yeah. Jacob Hebner, of course, and I know Jason Kalipa is interested, and
Mhm.
there's been a lot in there. I think one of the Panchik brothers is starting to dabble
Yep.
in a little bit. Yeah. So
The whole judging and helping each other is very much a common thread in the like competitive shooting community too, because I've shot some with my father-in-law and my wife, and he shoots revolvers competitively at a national level, and the people operating everything from down to the timer to judging your marks on where you hit on targets, and the support around that all is from the fellow shooters in your squad that you're shooting with and competing with that entire time. So it is a very supportive community in that aspect in terms of helping new people along and helping people kind of get their footing.
let's talk
Yeah.
about what we're going to talk about on today's show. We have a very busy show. We're going to spend a lot of time talking to Mal O'Brien. Lauren was fortunate enough to schedule an interview with Mal. Of course, she has made the decision to not compete this year, so Lauren catches up with her about that and talks about some other things as well. That'll be a little bit later in the show. We're going to hear from Josh Alchama from the Invictus team. We mentioned them last week when that quote-unquote super team got announced, so he'll be able to shed some light on the process that went into getting those 4 athletes together to try and keep the Affiliate Cup at Invictus. And then we're also going to just go through the headlines and get you ready for the first open announcement that happens here in a couple of days. We're recording this a little bit early in the week on a Tuesday, but that is it's just 2 days away. So I may on this show live sign up.
Whoa.
Maybe I should just do that.
Finally.
Well, I'll try to get that done because I have yet to sign up, but it's going to happen. I will make
Before the end of the show, we want you to have done
it
it.
will happen today. I'm going to make the pledge right now. You two need to hold me to it, but it's going to happen today. I'm going to sign up, so all 3 of us will be signed up.
And when you sign up, use the hashtag Talking Elite Fitness. We'll also have a special hashtag for all of our supporters on Patreon so that we can have our Patreon leaderboard as well. And be sure to take the judges course, because what good is signing up for the Open if you can't support your teammates and maybe slip them a few no reps along the way.
Absolutely. There you go. But before we get into any of that, we want to thank our sponsor for today, and that is Thirdsy. We love Thirdsy. I love Thirdsy. It has made a gigantic difference in my life as far as improving the quality of my sleep. I still don't get enough, but I'm getting really good sleep when I am, under the covers at night. Thirdsy is a collagen-based drink powder that helps with joint and connective tissue repair. It has ingredients like magnesium, L-theanine, and GABA, and those are included to help calm your central nervous system and support deep and REM sleep. It tastes great. I look forward to taking it every night. It's not one of those things where you kind of have to, hold your nose and gag it down, even though it's going to do you some good. I love it, man. It's got a fantastic taste, and it definitely helps promote great sleep. It doesn't have any melatonin in it, so it's not habit forming. You just take it about an hour before you go to bed, and you're out. Like, I usually have a hard time falling asleep at night. I take my Thirdsy, I wait that 45 minutes, done. I'm not tossing and turning, and I maybe wake up once or twice a night now, and it has made a huge difference. So you can scan the QR code on your screen. and that'll take you right to the website. You use our code TEF, you will save 20%. Or you can go to thirdz.com, same process. Use our code TEF and you will save 20%. And I know, Lauren, you're on the road. Did you bring enough?
Good thing she got the travel
Yes.
packs.
Yeah, right.
I have the travel packs. Well, and with tactical games, they have call times at like 5 a.m. because you have to have a safety briefing before the stage briefings. So you're there every day before the sun comes up. So as we're driving back, I'm like taking a shot of Third
There you
Z
go.
to knock me out.
Yeah.
It is
Ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun, huh? When suddenly you're not the one, or you're the one stuck in Dallas Fort Worth Airport.
I will be.
Yep.
That will be the first thing I pack as I head to Columbus after 24.1 for the Arnold Strongman Classic. I will have my Third Z on me in order to make sure that I get the requisite amount of sleep in order to do a semi-decent job at the broadcast for the Arnold Strongman and Arnold Strongwoman Classics, which are going to be on this weekend. Can't wait for that. That's going to be a blast there at the Arnold. If you haven't been to the Arnold, you should go. It's an experience.
It's
like it
awesome.
is definitely it is. I call it like the Mos Eisley Cantina of fitness. Like you're going to get a whole bunch of characters there, and it's good. It's good people watching.
My friend,
okay,
he doesn't like you.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I don't like you either. I'm sorry.
I'll be careful.
Yeah,
you'll be dead. Oh yeah.
I just love watching that go right over Lauren's head.
Way over the ponytail.
Way over the podium.
Just like all the planes she wasn't able to board in Dallas.
Oh, Tommy.
Oh, man.
Just keep putting the salt in the wound.
It's finally not me.
Headlines.
Your T-shirt might be in my bag somehow, the cursed one.
It might be. Let's get to what happened this week. One of the big things that was announced is that the Rogue Invitational is heading to Europe. They're going to Aberdeen, Scotland, November 8th through the 10th. I think this is a fantastic move. Austin was a great host city. Dell Diamond was a lot of fun with all the stuff that they could have in the outfield, whether it's the Wheel of Pain, the Roga Coaster, the Tower of Power, the Mater Hill that they built out there in center field. It was a lot. It was like a fitness circus. I think taking it over to Scotland is not only going to energize the CrossFit side of things, because as Chase mentioned on Death By, if you guys haven't listened to that episode yet, North American and especially American CrossFit fans, we're spoiled. I mean, we have event after event after event. You have to choose, which marquee event you're going to attend. That's not the case over in Europe, and they rarely have an opportunity to see some of the athletes that they are going to get to see at the Rogue Invitational. So that's one thing from the CrossFit standpoint. From the strongman standpoint, I mean, if you've been to the Rogue Invitational in the United States, in Austin, strongman is kind of the undercard. I think that I'm safe saying that because it's not, the CrossFit fans do not usually stick around for some of it. They might as a curiosity. You're going to get a ton of strongman fans in the stands for this. In fact, they might flip the script here and make that the marquee thing because of how popular it is over there. And if you get, the Stoltman brothers, you get, they're from Scotland. I just think it's a win-win for everybody. And I cannot wait to see what they come up with.
Yeah. And I think one thing that's very important to Rogue, and this has been evident in the integration of strongman and how they've operated within the sport of CrossFit and fitness in general, is and even the media that they put out, it's very important that they pay tribute and honor the history and roots of certain aspects of the sports that they cover, particularly strongman and strength sports in general. And I think that was an aspect of them deciding on this location too, because, whether it be the Highland Games, strength sports have a deep rooted history in Scotland as well. So you have that tie through in that, and in a way that just feels like you're honoring the athletes of the past that maybe helped get you to this kind of moment. And to me, that's like a win-win on all levels, to be able to think about a sport, not just from a presentation and entertainment production standpoint, but from the holistic nature of what really kind of digs the roots into this sport deep. And to me, that's just so cool. As soon as I saw that, even from the announcement of incorporating the bagpipes and marching, it was just like everything about this feels right and cool. And you're almost like a little jealous.
Yeah,
like, man, that looks like something I want to take part in.
It's gonna be awesome. Lauren, you got any thoughts? What'd you think when you heard this?
I mean, this is good in every single possible way in my mind. A lot of what Chase said, I could echo, because when you go to an event in Europe,
Mhm.
specifically for CrossFit, the appreciation that those fans have, it's like you go to the ones in the US and we almost take it for granted because there are so many events that you can go to. And there are people who have been to every single CrossFit game and Wadapalooza and Rogue, where then you go to Europe and it's like this is when they get to see specifically US athletes compete in Europe for the first time. Because sure, they have the semifinals, but that's all European athletes that are competing. So now they really get to see the best of the best on their territory. And in my mind, there's no scenario where this event doesn't sell out and sell out fast. And
Yeah.
like Sean was saying, both for the strongman fan, but also the CrossFitters.
Okay, next thing. With the Open right around the corner, we're a couple days away as we record this from 24.1. We talked about this, I think, a little bit on the last show, but we have now a lot more details on the Golden Barbell Award. And this was on CrossFit Games Instagram account. And I will read from that post. It reads, nominate your peers for the 2024 hashtag Golden Barbell Award. The CrossFit Open is a celebration of fitness, community effort, and you. This year, during the Open, we want to continue celebrating and highlighting all of the great things happening in our community around the world with the new Golden Barbell Award. How it works. Each week of the Open, the community can nominate a peer from their CrossFit community who embodies the weekly theme. So week 1, the heart and soul of your gym. Week 2, a local service Open athlete. Week 3, an athlete with the most standout performance during the Open. How to nominate a peer: you post a photo or a video on social media explaining why your top pick represents the week's theme and use the hashtag Golden Barbell Award in the captions to secure your nomination. I love this. I think it's great. Any way that you can bring in more members of the community, because we spend a lot of time focusing, as we will through the next 3 weeks, on the top performers, on the tip of the spear, the top of the leaderboard. Any way to recognize people who aren't putting up those scores but are still representing what the Open is all about, I think is a great thing. And so I'm glad that these details came out, and I look forward to seeing who people nominate.
Yeah, and it's also a sneaky way of having user-generated content and helping the community do your research for you, in that, like, hey, what are the inspiring stories in our community? How about we have them nominate them, and we will just filter through all that accordingly? Because even if you don't win the Golden Barbell, I'm sure you're going to get hundreds, if not thousands, of really cool stories of what we call the good stuff taking part in affiliates. And now you get to leverage those stories if you need to, or if you want to maybe send a videographer out there or go chase down those stories to kind of put out into the community as a whole.
Yeah, nothing.
Well, and this is stuff that local affiliates are already doing. I know my affiliate has superlatives throughout the Open where, coaches and members nominate each other for something, where this just puts that on a bigger stage. It gets more buy-in from the community that, wow, I have a chance to be recognized, not just by my affiliate, but by CrossFit, and I can win the Golden Barbell. I mean, oh, that's so pretty.
Not
I
gonna
wonder
lie,
if
it's
you
pretty
can
sweet.
buy it.
Yeah, and to be clear,
Yeah, I want to buy one.
there's going to be, so there are kind of 2 Golden Barbells. There's the one each week for the community, and then there's one, I think, on the line each week for the athletes as well.
Man, week 1 athletes is there only one for week 1?
I believe so, yes.
Oh man,
You'll earn it.
athletes. Yeah, week 1 athletes are getting screwed. You mean I got to go through 3 athletes to get my Golden Barbell, not just one?
And I think three different tests.
Yeah.
So they're making it like a little mini competition out of it. So
that's a little confusing, but whatever. The community part is cool.
It'll be, I like that. I think it's a great thing to add to the Open. I love the fact, just for me personally, having a spouse who's in law enforcement, to nominate people in the service Open. It's always fantastic to recognize that community, because for a while, like way back in the day, they were sort of the first adopters of CrossFit and kind of help catch fire and grow in the, from 2007 to 2018. They were a big reason for that. So I like the fact that
even before that, even like when the methodology is being developed and trained throughout Santa Cruz.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into the matchup now, because that's what people are talking about. We got Jeff Adler and Brent Fikowski. We got Canadian on Canadian violence on the men's side. And then 2 athletes who I think, as this season goes on, would not shock me if they are more and more involved in the conversation for possibly finishing on the podium in Fort Worth. And that's Alexis Raptis and Alex Kazan. And Lauren, you know, from being on Death By with Justin Kotler as much as you are, how high he is on Alex Kazan. And we recently had Travis Mayer on Death By, and he was effusive
the same
about
passion about Alexis. Yeah, and those are two athletes that it seems like all of a sudden they just got really, really good. And we necessarily the case that it's a lot of hours and competitions and all of that. But I think that these are two athletes that in my mind are podium contentions in the season. So now to have the two of them going head to head for week one, I think that this is a perfect way to set the scene. I mean, Alex, I know this isn't a memory that she loves, but I'll never forget when she lost her shoes on North Park in CrossFit. I hope she double laces them and doesn't lose any on the floor here. And then Alexis, with all of the medical issues that she was dealing with her stomach, now seems to have gotten that under control, getting back out on the competition floor. I'm really excited to see these two ladies go head to head.
Yeah.
And they're both really young, right? You know, Alex really just kind of in the neighborhood, 22, 23. Alexis, a former teenage athlete way back in the day. And I think has taken a similar role as like Paige Powers as being one of the early teenage games athletes, didn't make the jump right away, slowly chipped away at becoming a high level individual athlete, and has had almost immediate success once they broke through on the individual side. So they're actually very, very well matched in the open. I think 2 years ago, Alexis was clearly the better athlete in terms of performance and consistency across the board with some of these open style workouts. Last year, we saw Alex really kind of plant her flag as, hey, I'm not just a contender, to make a game spot. I'm going to make a push towards the top of the leaderboard by performing in the top 5 in the open worldwide, then turning around and smashing quarterfinals and being one of the lead athletes coming into semifinals in North America West. And I think there's a lot of workouts, specifically 23.1 and 4, where they're really close. Handful of reps, handful of seconds just away from each other. And the only real separator between these two athletes last year was in the heavy thruster, where we saw some athletes really just kind of pare back and not go for broke on that. So I think this could be a really good close matchup between the two women.
You got picks? I mean, between Adler and Fitzowski, I kind of got to go Adler just because I generally don't think we're going to see something that is in Brent's wheelhouse in an open workout. And I guess I don't know for the women, though. I don't know for the women.
So this is what before I jump into the women, I think on the men's side, it'll be interesting to see what version of Jeff Adler we see right now. Because even talking to Carolyn, they took a little bit different approach in the offseason in kind of pulling back on some things, maybe letting some aspects of the fitness not necessarily go by the wayside, but fall out of focus to focus on some very specific weaknesses, working on some pieces here and there with the understanding that you have time to kind of reassemble the transformer as the season goes back along, and for the goal of being much better in the long run. Now trying to defend the title. And I think that could lend itself to maybe Jeff not having the same caliber of open performance as we've seen him in the past, having won the open worldwide 2 times already. Brent seems to be sneaky. I'm going to pick Jeff regardless, because I think the overall volume of what we see in the open, whether it's, light, fast, high rep, explosive squatting, quick body weight stuff, tends to favor Jeff. But if there's something like, wall walks or things like that, Brent could sneak up and clip you.
Yep. I don't know on the women's side, though. I don't know. I mean,
I know it's like that to me is more of a wild card than, I mean, I'm sorry, Brent, love you, man, but my money's on Jeff.
And I don't think Brent is going to take offense to that, because it's just like, you're not going to find a 30-minute chipper, in the I mean, maybe you will, I don't know, but usually you don't week 1. So we will see. But those are the main headlines. And one other thing we want to tell people about is that we're partnering with RAD for our open coverage. They're doing some cool things for Friday Night Lights. They're going to do, they're going to gyms. The first one's going to be in South Brooklyn. The second one's going to be Southern California, Paradiso, and then the third one's going to be in London. So they'll have a cool Friday Night Lights like gym takeover. We will be there for weeks 1 and 2 to help cover that, and then we are going to have a full recap show the following Monday for the Close of the Open leaderboard that will incorporate a lot of the stuff that we get on site with RAD, including interviews with RAD employees about what they have coming up, and also some of their athletes. So be sure to look for that. That's going to start the Monday. Actually, it's going to start this Friday with their Friday Night Light stuff. So we'll have that on social media. Lauren's going to be at that first one. Tommy will be at the second one. And then again, on each Monday, we're going to have a full close of the leaderboard show for the Open.
All right. Guys ready? Oh, I'm excited. Lauren, if Lauren ever gets out of Fort Worth, then she's got her hands full in week 1 in Brooklyn. But
I'm going to top it off with a nice New York City slice of pizza.